Of course, big shout out to Ras Moses every single time. So without further ado, we're going to welcome him to the Big Bad Station, arawakradio.com. So of course, Ras Moses, you there?
Yeah, greetings and loves. djkat, bless up yourself every time. Good to hear from the eye.
Definitely, blessings, blessings. So you know what, Ras Moses, you back again in full force. What have you been doing since the last time we spoke?
Oh my goodness. Chanting and planting. I'm up on I'm up on the Sacramento farm. You know, we run a non-profit organization or like an NGO out here in Colorado. So I just been on the farm in the desert in the sun and just, and right now just driving right now to a hot spring in the valley. Yeah, just to kind of restore myself and go into nature and come forward into the works. So if you hear me driving right now, I'm just flying through 90 kilometers, a mile an hour, heading to the springs on a desert road right now.
Wow.
From Colorado, USA.
Wow. It sounds like a blessing, most definitely. But you know what? I want to ask you this. I know you're a great musician, but I wanted to ask, where does your love of nature come from? Because I know you do a lot of farming as well. So tell us about that.
Did you say, I pray that, did you say, where did my love for nature come from?
Yes, that's it. You got it.
Okay. Give thanks. Pardon that. Yeah, the Almighty is the creator and creation. So it's like whenever we can touch our feet to the earth or put our hands in the soil, we're going to feel the heavens and get the communication from the celestial bodies. We have to stay grounded in this time. So for me, nature has always been a link, especially being by living waters, around the issues of waters. Ras Moses or Moses is drawn from the water, so even in my cosmology, they call me a Pisces too. So I'm just kind of have to be by the water.
Yeah.
We're sitting on the largest aquifer in North America, and we have lots of hot springs in this valley. I might have mentioned before, but the mountains that I'm passing as I speak is called the Sangrio Christos Mountains, which is the blood of Christ mountains. This valley that I'm in right now, the San Luis Valley in Colorado, is a gathering for the Israelites, from New Mexico all the way through Colorado, Wyoming, Montana. It's kind of southwest. So there's a gathering going. And for me, this nature, the area I'm at on 40 acres, we're in the largest agricultural, highest valley on the earth. We're about 8,000 feet, growing all kinds of food, quinoa and potatoes and ganja and hemp. We're in Gonzarado, so we're able to do certain liberties that some people can't, so we give thanks for that. And even the ancestors that put their life on the line for a herb. So, I just want to give a big shout out still. But yeah, nature, it's the recalibration, it's the healing, it's the strength, it's the communication. When we let our roots go deep into the earth, then we could be still and raise that frequency of light and love. So I'm out in this valley right now, specifically out of the city, because where I am right now, where my children are even, and where my gates is, the vibe is heavy. I'm sure very similar in London, different cities. There's a lot of fear and different agendas going on. So I prefer to be up in the hills and the valleys, like the ancients told me to go, so I can stay grounded and grow my own food and try to get this thing sustainable and outside the influence of Babylon or, that kind of thing far out, blessing.
Definitely. Sounds like a blessing. Sounds like everybody needs to go there. Definitely.
True. Everyone really, really, truly, Sister Kat, everyone is welcome. This is the Colorado House Rastafari land. We have land for people to build up and camp, and we have fresh water, and we're building food, and we need strength. We do international works here at home and also abroad. And really our emphasis right now, because I get calls, on the daily from Africa, and I'm sure the I knows too, they're really putting the COVID thing upon Africa right now. And even, the AU, which is different than what Majesty said of the OAU. Right now it's a different agenda. Yeah. So they just took billions of dollars from the World Bank to push the vaccination upon Africa. They want 60% of all Africans to get the vaccination by 2022. Wow. So right about now, when I get calls, our works here, are building Africa. Yeah, and building bridges. So one of our works is we support an orphanage in Uganda called the Good Hope Home. So, we've gotten a farm over there so they can grow their food, and we have a water well. but the lockdown that's happening in Uganda is well dread. Yeah. They can only go out for maybe an hour or two, maybe to get foodstuffs. The prices are going up. And then other than that, they can't work. So it's like they're putting the fear, they're putting them lockdown, they're putting in the fear of the certain disease or whatever they want to try to call it. And yeah, so we're feeling it right now. They might only eat one meal a day. So we try to, I also want to reach out within the Eyes platform, and I pray the Eyes.
Definitely.
Please check out the Colorado House of Rastafari on Facebook. And if you have the strength to give a donation, we're here to feed the African children, so please check it out. I give thanks,
Blessings, most definitely. I know you do great works all over. We've just got a question in from a listener. They're asking me as well, when did your musical journey begin?
Yes, I feel like it's within my soul from that time until this time, but, really and truly, I always gravitated towards music and loved music. And I loved even going to wonderful shows of different artists and dancing within the spirit. And, throughout youth, I had a guitar, and as I came into the faith of Rastafari, I found myself in tabernacles in Jamaica up in the hills, or we had tabernacles here in America too, and outside of Atlanta, and even in Shashamani land. So the Nyabingi was the foundation of my musical works, and the chant, and the heartbeat, and the lightning. Yeah. So that's where I come from. But as time progressed, as I came around certain elders, even one like Ross Denroy Morgan, I want to big up the brethren, the father of Morgan Heritage.
Yeah.
On different shows you would come, and I would sit upon the Bingy line and support some of the works and the encourage I. And I want to hail up some of the different elders through this time that have looked out for I, and even in a musical way. Like my producer for my upcoming album off of Yellow Hill Music is from Dominica and St. Croix, by him, he's Harry Moe. And he was a big encouragement, and even produced my first and my second album, built the music, and is my band leader when we do musical works. But he really encouraged I to come up and touch the mic, and just express ourselves. So as time came on, the brethren asked me. I've always been like the Eye, Sister Kat, and I love the Eye poetry.
Yeah.
I've been a poet and a writer. I'm an author too. I wrote a book as well that's on Kindle and things like that called An American Mystic. So I've always been a writer, But now my brethren put the task. He said, here's some instrumentals, here's some rhythms. I want you to write on this, and I want to see what you come up with. And as time progressed and we sharpened the tool, we started recording. And now things are, we just give thanks. It's just been like a natural unfoldment according to the cosmos within I and I. Like I could not help doing what I'm doing. I'm into Indian culture, so I got a Vedic astrology reading, which is very deep.
Yeah.
If anyone wants one to chart themselves, I know a great astrologer here. And it's very grounded and rooted. It's Kush culture, it's not any kind of like, whatever, new age kind of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, in there, I wanted to say that, she had told me, and she didn't know me. She said, in other lifetimes you've been well known. And this lifetime now, you're going to be known through your word and power and sound, your chanting and your music. Yeah. And even His Majesty is in my Jupiter, So she said I had no choice to do what I'm doing. And the only time I had a hard time is when I wasn't doing my Dharma or the divine work on earth as it is Mount Zion. That's when I was struggling. Okay. Now, it's not easy, it's not easy, Empress, to live outside the world and do your thing. Yeah? But for Rastafari people, we must work for ourselves, know our divine works and fulfill it. His Majesty said we must do more than we ever thought we could do, and then we will accomplish what we need to do. So His Majesty, when we look at Haile Selassie I, the works that he did on earth is beyond measure. So that's why we hail him as Jah Rastafari.
Yes.
Yeah, he had the whole world on his shoulders, and he set the whole world on fire. People want to know why the world is burning right now. He said, when you light a match in Ethiopia, the whole world is going to burn.
Definitely.
So we just come into our love and our light, and what a joy to do Jah works. And I give thanks to the Eye and all all DJs and all reggaeologists, doing the works and broadcasting. So blessed are the ones that publish the word of the Most High. Hallelujah.
Blessings, for real. And one of the tunes that I'm loving at the minute by yourself is called Seek Jah First. I wanted to know about your inspiration for that tune. I can guess it, but I want to know from you, where did that inspiration come from?
Sure. Well, the inspiration, prayerfully, is from Haile Selassie, First Empress Mennonite, Jah Rastafari, the Most High, gives angels around our dominion, to do the works and the strength, So that song was from my first album, Seek That First, And so I did a couple of versions. I did a Bingy version, and then I sealed the album with a hip hop version as well. I don't know if that has heard that still, but it's Jah is I and I rock and I and I salvation, in everything we have to do. And once that day comes when we're completely immersed in the Most High, doing the works itinerally, then what we're called is enlightenment. So until that day when we have these flashes of light, of the light that we really are, that's Jah light. Definitely. And we are light humans, right? So we are light beings to shine like on the earth and humble ourselves and inherit the earth, Nothing, another word that came out of the Father's mouth is not for I and I to fulfill. So each of us is a body of the Most High or of Christos. Yeah. So we're just seeking Jah first in everything we do, and then everything shall be added. So that's the inspiration for the song and the album. My new album that's dropping here soon. I have singles coming off of Rebel Sound Records out of New York and Florida. It's called Members of a New Race. Okay. So we're taking it, a step further within the fulfillment of the words of His Majesty. He said, right, white and black are nothing anymore. So we dash them away. And even if our environment or our education has prepared us for this experience, we have to become greater than we have ever been. Yeah, and members of a new race. Yeah. So only Rastafari could be to do that, to raise the flag of red, gold, and green for the whole world. Because everyone that looks upon the colors of Ethiopia feels something within, and that's the powers of Jah. That's the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Christ in His kingly character came to the earth to gather all ones and ones. Look, through the technology, look. Empress out across the pond in the UK and a brethren out here in America on the same page right now, reading the book of life. Yeah. It could only be the Most High showing us the way to link and broadcast the positive vibration. Because the world is going to tell you, the mainstream media and the news, they're going to tell you that, the world is crumbling in the economy and there's diseases and people are dying and that. But in reality, all we have to do is seek the kingdom of Jah first and feel the joy. Definitely. And the positive vibration. Turn on, like in one of my new tracks, I say, turn off the television. Mainstream media program you. Them try to divide and rule. Be quiet. Meditate upon the truth. Hear the words of the Father. I shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Yeah, so these eyes that we give, if we can only give eyes always, how happy will we be? And the more we come together, the happier we'll be, as the great Denroy Morgan says and chants, they want to separate us and divide us, Sister Kat, but the more we come together, the more we build, the more that we study the Constitution that His Majesty laid out for I and I, the more we follow the words of His Majesty and fulfill them, the happier and more joyful we'll be. That's why they try to say 9/11. Yeah. They take down the towers on a holy day for I and I in Ethiopia. They're trying to distract us, but we must stay focused. Yeah. We have to strengthen each other and remind each other always, because the world is a distraction. This is all Maya. But in reality, the whole creation is Jah and the fullness thereof. And even the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and all I and I that dwell there within. Established on the floods. Yeah, and across the waves of the sea. Yeah, who shall ascend to His holy hill? It's I and I, Sister Kat. It's all of we. Definitely. With a clean hand. and a pure heart that's not lifted our soul to vanity.
For real.
Yeah, so, yeah, we just have to exhibit God. Just keep giving thanks and praise, family, you know? That's the light. You know, as we say in Ascension time, we're like, Kadosh, 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 Tezaboath Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Yeah, just the sounds and the words of fire right now that was used. Like, we're speaking in English. I might be speaking in American, but we're speaking in a way. But really, the Father came to this world and he spoke Amharic. So when we remember the holy sounds of fire that will keep us connected through the angels and the pathways of the Most High and the ladders of Jacob to reach the Most High, we're in direct communication with the Most High. So, you know, not to stray too much from the topic at hand, but really, you know, I just say, you know, let the meditation of our hearts, you know, and the words of our mouth be humbly acceptable in thy sight, now and forever, Most High Jah. Yeah, so I'm here through the music, Kat, through the works, you know, to do my part, pull my weight where I am, and shine the light for ones and ones, encourage ones and ones. I'm here to network, collective security, as Majesty said. We don't have to make it so complicated. Yeah? There's a place for I and I, even in a higher dimension. You know, we might close our eyes and meditate on the third eye. We might all be in Lalibela land before we know it. So Jah runs things.
Definitely.
So that's all I say. Jah runs things.
Blessings. You know what, Ras Moses? Every time I talk to you, it's always a blessing. And lots of people are sending in love hearts, fire. They're agreeing with what you're saying. So it's the most blessing. And I want you to let the listeners know, how can they either get in touch with you, how they can connect with you, how can that happen?
Oh, give thanks. Yeah. You can check out rasmoses.com, RASMOSES.com. You can check me on the Instagram, of course, the Ras Moses _ chanting yogi, and then on Facebook, Ras Moses. And yeah, we're starting to hit some stages. We're very excited. In a couple of months, we're headlining an African festival, the first of its kind in Utah, which, if you know America, Utah is not, when you think of Utah, you think of what we call Mormons, not Africa.
Yeah.
Right? The producers, I guess a lot of Africans have moved there, so we're expecting a big crowd. And so you can catch me, and I'm available, Europe. I'm ready to jump over the pond with my fake vaccination ID. And I'm ready to come. So if any promoters out in the UK, that's really where my foundation for reggae music happened. Was England, went to the college there, and I would go to Brixton to some of the dance halls. So I just want to big up the UK, living in the concrete jungles and holding the culture. Even when Jamaica at times lost, the UK has been holding the fire. So I just want to big up all ones in the reggae massive and the Rastafari people in the UK.
Blessings every time. You know what? It's been an honor once again talking with you, understanding what you're doing, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your journey and what you're getting up to, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon, yeah?
Thank you, Sister Kat. Anything I can do for that, please let me know, and thank you for the opportunity.
Anytime. You're always welcome. Blessings sent.
Yes, sir. One perfect love, Rastafari.
Rastafari, bless up. Yes, people, please do go out there, check out Ras Moses, go and see what he's up to. A definite conscious person, okay? Go and check out his vibes, his energy, what he's getting up to, his music. But right now, we're going to play a little piece of his song before we go to DJ Kat's Top 5. But this one, of course, is called Seek Jah. Take a listen to this one. Here we go. The sounds of Ras Moses. This one is Seek Jah.
Come, Ethiopians, I have a message for you. Holy Mount Zion gates are open wide. Step inside. Enough works to be done. So let's do it, liquor by liquor. I'd rather be a footstool in the house of the Almighty than a big man in dirty Babylon. Seek Jah first. And everything shall be added. Seek Jah first. He take away your sadness and give you a gladness. Seek Jah first. Take away your carnal mind. Put you on the righteous road. Righteous way is to fast and pray. I never go astray. So shall be added. Seek Jah first, He take away your sadness and give you a gladness.